D Rose, D Rose, D Rose, D Rose. Oh my goodness. I just got home from the airport and stuff like that. I wasn't really home to watch this game, but I was just cruising through Twitter and stuff, and I heard about what D Rose did against the Jazz tonight. This man dropped 50 points, a career-high 50 points. He took it back to his MVP season and came out and dropped 50. This performance means so much to Chicago Bulls fans. I love this performance. It took me back to when I was watching D Rose back in 2011. I know Bulls fans, when they saw this, man, it had to have made them cry. Because that was vintage D Rose. That was MVP D Rose. That was the D Rose that looked like he was going to be the face of their franchise. He was quick. He was elusive. He scored effortlessly. He made play after play. The spin move he had, beautiful. He was making play after play. His shot was hitting down. He was hitting threes. He was hitting mid-range jumpers. He was taking it to the basket. He was challenging everybody. He was not afraid to score. He came out here and scored 50, and he did it so effortlessly. That's vintage D Rose. That's the MVP D Rose we know. And it shows he still has it in him. He still has it in him. It may not be able to come out all the time, but he still has it in him. And it's just so sad because you see what this guy's able to do after all he's been through. He comes out and performs like this. And you're just seeing it. We've been talking about it a lot about late last season and a lot early this season. How D Rose has just been looking great. And he's starting to look like he's in an MVP form. Although it's not really going to work in the type of NBA we have now, which is why it's sad. D Rose in his MVP form would be great, but he wouldn't be able to have a huge amount of success in today's NBA that's focused a lot on three-point shooting. It just wouldn't be able to work. Now, he would be great. He'd be like Russell Westbrook. In fact, Russell Westbrook was vintage D Rose. Just great, man. But, even though he wouldn't be able to work in this type of NBA, I'm still glad we got to see this. It just took me back to a time where I really enjoyed the NBA. Where you can just sit down, man. You remember what D Rose? Did you see him score 50 points? Oh my God, nobody talks about players having epic performances because all of a sudden points don't mean much now. Ever since the Golden State Warriors got together, it wasn't even the Warriors too. It was around like 2015 when you really saw that people stopped caring about how many points people were scoring. You saw already, with Russell with the triple-double in history, but really, after he just got that record for triple-doubles, last season, he had another triple-double, and nobody cared. He got the MVP in 2016. He did the exact same thing with two other quote-unquote all-star type players on his team, and nobody cared. That's the thing. Nobody talks about scores anymore. But D Rose taking it back to his vintage form in 2011 just reminded me of those times when I was on the schoolyard, man, and just talking about D Rose just going off. I'm not even a Chicago Bulls fan, but I love Derrick Rose. And this performance was just beautiful. I didn't really get to see the game, but I saw the highlights, and boy, oh man, if this guy would have been able to stay healthy for Chicago, they would have at least gone to a finals with him. Such a shame. But you know what? He's with Minnesota. He's doing his thing. I'm so happy for him. I'm so glad to see him still playing at a high level after all these years, after all the jokes about his knees and all this other stuff and how he can't stay healthy. I'm glad he's able to have a performance like this. Way to go, D Rose. I'm really proud of you, buddy. You are still playing great. And I want to see more of this because I want to see vintage MVP D Rose come out again. He may not be able to work in this league entirely and lead a team to a championship, but I still want to see him. Well done, buddy.